candidates from the United States, cardinals from the United States, enter with somewhat of a handicap. Because the United States is such a major global force in the world, I think many are reluctant to add the power of the papacy also to the United States' power in the world. And so I think it would be highly unlikely that there would be an American chosen to be Pope, but I wouldn't think it would be impossible. I think that when we look at the United States, there are certainly people who have been close collaborators with Pope Francis. For example, Cardinal Cupich of Chicago, Cardinal Tobin of Newark, New Jersey, Cardinal McElroy, who is the current Archbishop of Washington, D.C., that these are men who are known to have been close collaborators with Pope Francis, and I'm sure will have somewhat of an influential say in the conclave. Also, Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York is known to be an influential cardinal who will probably have some kind of a say in the conclave. I think it's important, especially for Americans, to understand that the Catholic Church in the world is about 1.4 billion persons, and American Catholics only comprise 6% of that total. And I think that's important because sometimes, because of our outsized media that we have, we can kind of maybe think that our concerns in America, our experience in America, are somehow normative for the entire Catholic Church. I think it's important that when we see the conclave in action, we're going to see a global body, global Catholicism in action. One thing we do know about the conclave is that 80% of the electors are cardinals that have been promoted by Francis. And so many people think that, well, does that mean that the next pope will continue his policies? I think it's fair to say that the cardinals as a group are in broad agreement with the general direction of that Francis established. But I do think that there might be a tendency to say, well, let's take a pause and let's look at where the church has come in those 12 years of Pope Francis, and then to see where do we want to go from here. And so I would say that we shouldn't look for like a radical departure from Francis. When I think of Pope Francis, I think of someone who embodied the qualities of humility, one who really wanted to have a church of the poor and for the poor. And so he embodied that in his own life, in his own humility, in his own simplicity of lifestyle, but also in terms of his inclusivity, his willingness to open the doors of the church to all. As he said in his native Spanish, todos, 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 all are welcome.